One, two, three, four, five, and we're back with the TMCJ podcast. We're on episode 10 now.
Woo.
We've hit the double digits.
We are 10, indeed.
Who'd have thunk it would go this long?
Mm-hmm. Who'd have thought we would put up with this each week this long? Yeah.
I think we have kind of established at this point that, I don't know, it is something that we both look forward to. That being said, today's episode, in terms of structure, is probably going to be a bit more low effort than the last few weeks have been.
Janky as fuck is a special celebration of our 10th episode.
We're going to go back to the original format of this podcast where we just sort of rambled around with a vague idea what we were going to talk about.
As if we don't do that every week.
Yeah. I did write two things down for topics, and they're both shit.
Okay. Well, what are they so I can shoot them down?
So, the first one, I wanted to talk about... Well, I just wrote down social media as a general topic, because I, even when I was using social media, thought it was stupid.
Yes.
But there's like a million different varieties out there that I've never even tried now, so I thought we could just kind of ramble on and chat about them. The other thing I put down was weird hobbies, and what I meant by that was like things that, like odd things that people collect, or that people can turn into a hobby that really shouldn't be.
God, my mind instantly goes to the worst things. Like people that watch My Little Pony when they're a grown-ass adult, that kind of thing is where my mind went.
The bronies. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was a person in... This might be a long topic, don't get me wrong. I'm not planning on talking about this long. There was someone in student accommodation when I was there that was this guy that was slightly older than me, and we'd have to eat our meals in like a communal area because we had it was the way that our student housing was set up, kind of thing. And every mealtime, he would be talking about the fan fiction he was writing of My Little Pony.
Oh my god!
It was a cross between My Little Pony, Doctor Who, and some kind of horror thing. It was frickin' the worst. So I would occasionally go down to dinner late just to get some peace and quiet.
Oh my god! I have a similar tale, although this was when I was in high school, and Halo 2 was the big game. Everyone was playing on Xbox Live. It was big thing at the time. So there were several people that I met on there, like Scott, Adam. I first encountered them on Halo on Xbox Live, and it kind of went on from there. But we also had like a couple other weird characters that would play loosely with our group, and there was this guy, I can't remember what his gamer tag was, but it was something, but I keep wanting to say it was Jack Black, but it wasn't. Anyway, he used to always come on and tell us about these anime screenplays he was writing, which essentially they turned out to be fan fiction, and one of my friends just either mocked him for it, or basically this friend had a very good way of just cutting to the bone like instantly. Just it's like, oh, that's really cool, can you shut the fuck up or something. Just basically just like build him up and then spike him back to the ground, because the guy, he was a fairly okay dude, but he was annoying as fuck. And one day he came on and told us about another anime screenplay he'd written where he gets superpowers and fought this friend that I'm talking about that just made fun of him. And it just became a running gag within our group. It's like, one day, I keep wanting to say Jack Black, so I'm just going to say Jack Black. One day Jack Black woke up and he had superpowers, and he used them to kill George.
Poor George.
And it just became like this long running gag. But I'd say similar thing, cringy, fan fiction.
I don't want to crush people's dreams of creativity with that kind of thing. I think it's a lot of creativity comes from writing.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
that stones and glass houses and all that because
just
this
yeah,
is
exactly, D
definitely
and D.
D&D. But then again, this podcast, we it it was pretty rough in some of the earlier episodes. I like to think
Yeah,
we're smoothing it out, but with any creative endeavor, you kind of have to spend a little bit as a crap out before you can actually produce something of
yeah.
any quality.
Well, what I was gonna say is that you pick your audiences. I mean,
Yeah,
if someone's not interested in the podcast, for example, I won't talk about the podcast in front of them, and that's fine. I won't go on about it. If they want to go and watch it, brilliant.
mm.
Uh, but I'm not gonna subject them to something if they don't want to listen to it. uh, yeah, I think
God,
that's the big difference.
yeah. I guess that's a good point. Like if I did a lot of writing when I was younger because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But there were very few people that I would actually show or tell about it. First of all, and only if they expressed an interest in reading something, I'd show them it, and I'd try to show them the good stuff because I definitely wrote a bunch of stuff that was absolute ass.
Yeah. As
Oh,
we all as we all do.
yeah, but that's
Um,
how it goes. You gotta fail a lot before you can succeed. At least most of the
mm.
time.
Switching over to social media,
Yeah.
I when I was growing up, the Facebook was very big,
Mm.
and I got Facebook originally purely with the intent of getting back into contact with someone who it was when I was changing schools, and I was like, oh, in order to stay in touch, phones cost a lot of money to keep texting people at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's right. You only had a certain number of texts per month or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, Facebook seems like a necessary evil in order to keep intact. Other than that, I don't think I've really ever used social media in that aspect that most people use social media. That is to say, to share my life. I've never really bought into that at all. Never really done the whole putting pictures of myself online for mass crowds to look at.
Yeah. I. So, my first experience with social media is when I was in middle school and high school. That was around the time that MySpace was coming out.
Yeah.
Facebook had just started when I went to college, and it was at that point like exclusive for college students, at least in the U.S. I don't know about internationally, but I remember I had one of my closest friends from my hometown. She had a Facebook account, a MySpace account, and I remember looking at it and thinking, "This is the dumbest fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
I refused to make one. She made one for me,
Right.
and I never logged into it, and never touched it. It just existed.
Yeah.
I did, however, when I got to college, use Facebook, and that was because it was a big craze there. It was a way that a lot of us at college would. We used it mostly as a tool for shit posting, really, like
Yeah.
just stupid memes. Posts that made no sense and were really just out there to get laughs or something like that. It was
Yeah.
never, but I never used it, this, like you're saying, to talk about my life and stuff like that.
I think vlogging is very. It's another thing. It looks really easy on the face of it, but I think you've got to have a lot of creative flair to keep people interested in a vlog or
Yeah.
like some kind of My Diary-esque kind of production.
Yeah, I feel like those types of things are almost like you practically have to be a practitioner of hypnosis, because there's like I've noticed the really successful ones, they have like this direct eye contact with the camera thing, and they have this certain cadence in the way they speak. Like,
Right.
it's
You're sure I'm not talking about ASMR.
no, I'm not talking about ASMR. I'm talking about vlogging.
Okay. because that falls
A-
for me under the same category of
ASMR is
dubious.
that's a whole different thing. For anyone that doesn't know, ASMR, I have no idea what it stands for, but it's essentially when somebody gets really close to the mic and just whispers into it.
Yeah, it's creepy. Just don't use
Yeah,
that.
no.
They make particular noises which are meant to be relaxing and it can send you to sleep. That kind of thing.
No, sorry, that just reminded me of it was a screenshot of a post someone made. It was somebody was saying to whoever the person is who released a relaxing noises for sleeping YouTube video and then put an advertisement right in the middle of it. Fuck you. Because you think about it, you're listening. Say it's like a half-hour video, and it's supposed to be relaxing, and you're just playing it, and so you're soothed off to sleep, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the video, you just get this random loud advertisement.
Yeah, I think it's PayPal at the moment that I'm getting like every fucking video. I get that.
I keep getting the ads for that custom soap, or that
custom soap.
Yeah, the Dr. Squash's something soap. They make like all natural like hand pressed soap or something like that.
Right. I don't think that's I think that's probably an American only company.
Yeah, they're probably pretty small. But it's like artisanal soap.
Yeah, that kind of what's the word? Specified branding. What's the word I'm looking for? When the advert comes to you basically because it sees what you've been searching.
Hmm.
I'm looking like a real idiot. What's the word, Kaiser?
Targeted marketing?
Probably.
Targeted advertising? I don't know.
Yeah. It's yesterday I was on Steam and Mass was saying she was getting a lot of like the same kind of game advertised to her, but she never really played that kind of game, so she doesn't know where it came from. But suddenly everything is recommending it.
God. Well, that could be like the game itself paying Steam to go like, hey, find me customers.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not getting anything like that. It was all like those anime story games. The kind of stuff that you've...
visual novels, yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Interesting. It's funny because I don't get advertisements for those.
No. I mean, I don't. I get... What was the first thing in my queue is Battlefield 4, which I have no interest in playing. They somehow managed to make... that they'll give you 10 things in your queue which they recommend to you. And they somehow managed to nail every single day what I do not want in any possible way. They had freaking, what was it, a football game up on my list yesterday. Like, if that's not paid by the football people to advertise on, I don't know what it is. Cause
let's see what my queue is. I've got Craftopia. It's a brand new multiplayer survival action game made in Japan.
That's big at the moment, just generally.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is after that. Then Squad, which looks like a 100-player FPS game.
Sim.
Hades.
Hades. I think you bought that for me, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Star Wars Old Republic, Flight Simulator, Crusader Kings 3. A lot of these are just big games. Serious Sam 4.
Just AAA. But I don't understand why Flight Sim's so big. Like, a lot of people are playing on YouTube. I don't really understand why.
I saw, like, I was looking to get a, so I want to get one of the 3000 series video cards that NVIDIA came out with. And I also want to get, like, a better monitor when I get that. Like, I wanted to get, like, a 140 FPS by 4K resolution monitor. But they're ridiculously expensive. They're something like $1,700 for a good one. You can get kind of a more mediocre one for around $900, but I don't want to pay that kind of money and then have it be crap. So right now I'm looking at 140 FPS, 1440p, which is it's a 2K monitor essentially. And they're more reasonably priced, but I saw one of the top things on it is like, I bought 5 stars. I bought this monitor specifically to play Microsoft Flight Simulator and nothing else. I'm like, what? What
Yeah,
what kind of like piece of cartilage does that?
yeah. You're meant to load up like Halo Reach or some shit. Not.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I'll play Doom Eternal at the crazy FPS. We kind of got
Hmm.
away from social media here.
Wait, social media is the second segment though.
No, no,
Well,
no.
no, sorry, media is the second
Yeah,
segment.
yeah. This is social
This is
media.
true.
Yeah,
Well,
we're in
isn't the
topics
first
right now.
segment normally games?
No, this first segment is topics. We've been doing this
Oh.
10 weeks and we don't even know
I
how.
don't know. We talk about games a lot in the first segment, generally.
Well, that's because the topics. I mean, we both play a lot of video games, so topics inevitably circle back to that.
You know that rando that we were playing with yesterday in Among Us?
Yeah,
Also, that game, big fucking game.
yeah,
We had 9 people, 9 friendos.
yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like, only 2 people weren't in the call too. Like everyone else was. No, actually, I think
2
only
people? No, 1 person.
yeah, only one person wasn't in the call.
There was this one rando that me and Mass had started playing with before everyone arrived. And we were trying to work out some way of getting him into the call, because it's no fun for the person who literally can't hear all the conversations.
Right. Yeah, he's only got to go off the text.
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh, have you got Discord?" I was genuinely surprised he didn't have Discord, because in my eyes, anyone who has a computer these days should have Discord.
Yeah. If you're playing any video games at all.
Yeah, but no, he was like, at the end, he was going, "Oh, have you got Snapchat?"
Yeah, I saw
Why
that.
the fuck would I have Snapchat? Get out of here!
Wait, am I gonna Snapchat my argument? Okay, sorry. That's a
Here's me
good
posing
transition.
with a filter.
That is a good transition. Snapchat is another social media app that I had a ton of friends that got into, and I couldn't stand it. I was like, this
Nah.
is just text messaging, but more difficult.
There's one friend I have in Canada who uses Snapchat that I occasionally Snapchat with, but other than that, I don't think I've ever really used it in any
I-
long-term way.
There are several social media apps that and that being one of them, that I made a point. When people finally talked me into using them, I made a point of using them wrong. So Snapchat, whenever somebody would send me one, it'd be like, a video or a picture and then some line of text. And I would just reply to the text and take a picture of like a blank wall or something like that, or the
Yeah.
ground. And then just so it would just be a text message with a completely uninteresting picture.
Well, that's the thing with Snapchat. All the messages, all the text, all the pictures get deleted.
Yeah.
And if you're slow on the uptake, like I quite often am, if I've just woken up and I'm like, bleary-eyed looking at my phone,
Mm.
and it has a 3 seconds before a photo disappears forever, that shit ain't getting seen. And then I have to do the horrible thing of, can you send that again? I didn't actually see what it was.
Yeah, Snapchat. I don't know. It's just
And sorry,
stupid. No, that and Twitter. Twitter's another one that I've used Twitter twice in my life. Once was back in college. Jesse convinced me to get a Twitter account because he thought it was awesome and I should get on there, and
right.
I use it. So I made the account at Bag of Dicks, and got
Okay.
the account banned within a week.
Well, that's a surprise.
But later, I made another one. This was in like 2015 or 2016, and I used it for about 6 months, and I was extremely unproductive during those 6 months. It was just like junk food.
Really?
Yeah, I
What's
don't
there
know.
to do on Twitter? I hear it's like the social butterfly place of the internet.
So it's, how like sometimes you pull up like Netflix and you want to watch something, but you don't know what, and you're just scrolling through and looking at like the previews and
Yeah.
stuff.
I do
That's
that more
what Twitter
Reddit,
is. That is exactly what Twitter is.
Okay. Yeah, I just go on the cute animals Reddit page and just scroll forever.
Yeah. I could see that. Oh my god. Yeah. YouTube is, speaking of social media, does YouTube count as social media?
Well, I use it as a TV, so
Yeah.
no.
That's pretty
Not
much what
really.
I use it for as well.
Yeah.
Just like
Who
another
wants to pay
streaming
for
service.
a TV license? Jesus.
That's
Wait,
right.
Do you have TV licenses over there?
No, you guys, that's because you have a state-owned TV company, so that's why you have that. We don't. They're all private corporations.
Gotcha.
So if like for instance, I don't watch TV, so I don't pay for it. I could get a cable subscription, but I don't watch TV, so I have no reason to.
So theoretically, if I were to get like an American box,
Mm,
I would not be charged anything because it's not British Telecoms.
I don't know if can you even do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think
Have I
like even
broken the
the
system?
network infrastructure is owned by the UK government over there.
Right.
This
Maybe.
is something that we may have to do some research on.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, why bother when there's so much good
Yeah.
shit on YouTube? For
I
free?
did. The cable companies will occasionally do like deals over here because the internet is the only thing I pay for because it's the only thing I use. If I want to
Yeah.
watch like a movie or a TV show, I have Netflix and Amazon.
You are heavily reliant on the internet.
Yeah, and so I have that, but I don't have. I have had a cable box before, but I never hooked it up because they did like a deal. If you get the basic cable box, they'll shave like $5 or $10 a month off your internet price. And so it ended up being like, I think right now for internet I'm paying something like $90 a month, but so it
Right.
would be $80 for a year if I got the cable box. The idea is that you get the cable box and you hook it up and you're like, oh, but I want to get HD and I want to get this, and so they tack on a little bit more money. But I said, nope, I'll just take the deal. The cable box lived in my coat closet for a year, and then I returned it when the deal ran out.
Yeah.
I never even plugged the thing in.
Damn. But, I don't know. These offers sound like a faff. I hate those. It's completely free for the first month, but you've got to put in your bank account details so that when you inevitably forget that you've signed up for it,
Yep,
we're
then
gonna
we can charge
you for the
you.
next 3
Yep.
months. Yeah, I hate them.
Yep.
Passion.
That's
why whenever YouTube pops up with its special premium thing without adverts on my phone, I'm like, nah, I'd rather just watch the odd advert. As much as I hate them,
yeah.
I'm just going to watch the odd advert because it's not going to cost me real life money, and I know I will forget.
Yep, I've done that before with a couple free trials. I did that with the whole Xbox has that Game Pass thing where you can. There's a library of games. You pay a monthly subscription, and you can just download the game and play it.
Yeah.
I did that
Yeah,
when
PSN
back when we
got
were
me
trying
for
out
that.
Sea of Thieves a couple years back. I did that so I could play it, and then forgot for 2 months, and ended up paying $30 for a service I wasn't
Yeah.
using.
You basically pay for the whole game, and then you don't have the game.
Yeah, exactly. God.
Yeah, no, same with PlayStation Network. I used to love the PS3. Like, oh, it was so good. Free internet, alright? It wasn't like the Xbox 360 where you had to pay for the internet. Nope. Every month you didn't have to worry about that shit. If you bought the console, which was more expensive, don't get me wrong, then you don't have to worry. It's peace
Yeah.
of mind I was paying for.
Ex-
But then they moved to the PlayStation 4,
Yeah, they
and
moved
they
to
were
that.
like,
Yeah.
clearly Xbox has got the right fucking idea. Let's charge everyone out the ass every month instead, which is when I stopped playing consoles.
The Xbox Live though, they have moved towards giving you something else, like some extra stuff. So like if you still have to get the subscription to play online, and I have it, but one of the things they started doing was that if you have Xbox Live, then you get 2 free games every month.
Yeah, they did it on PS4 as well, but like, look at Epic Games Store. You don't have to pay shit for that, and you get a free game every week, and there are
Yeah.
some damn good games on there.
I know it's an arms race. The Epic's trying to compete with Steam, but also with the console sales.
Yeah. Speaking of, I assume Jesse's been harassing you to get Rising Storm Vietnam as
Yeah,
well.
I don't know why. I think I already got it.
Oh.
Like he told me to get here. I'm Rising Storm Vietnam 2. I have it and it's installed. He told me to get it back in July and I got it. It's
Oh.
installed on my computer. So when he sent that, I'm like, yeah, I already own it.
Maybe you should just play it.
I guess it's probably something I should do.
Yeah, he was pretty stoked that it was coming free. He was
By the
like,
way,
all but threatening me to get it.
Rising Storm Vietnam for It's a video game shooter, obviously set in Vietnam. Uh, it's
No.
one of those like hyper realistic first person shooter video games. Um,
Is it
I think
hyper
it is.
realistic?
It seemed like that from I watched Jesse play it, and that seems like what it was.
It looked very COD-like to me. I don't know if it's like hyper realistic. In my mind is another word for milsim.
That's yeah. It struck me much closer to Arma than to COD.
Milsim being military simulator, by the way, like a game that's where you have to do everything, even the really boring stuff, really meticulously before you can actually go and do the fun stuff, which might be like half an hour apart from one another.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, simulator to me has become a bit of a curse word because it's just an excuse to put a bunch of pad time between actual fun activities.
Yeah,
Um,
I the comparison that I always loved from Zero Punctuation, the video game review um, show, is
Guru.
I said review, but it's the simulators always seem kind of like model railways, right? Like some kind of a hobby that you spend hours and hours working on, and you just like it's meticulous and boring, but I don't know where I was going with that.
But it looks cool, dude. No, I get what you mean. It's like Minecraft, alright?
Yeah.
You don't... Generally, if it's just one person playing it, they'll make something cool and they'll be like, right, that's that done. If there's multiple people playing it, it becomes a challenge to make something cool that other people also appreciate. And that's
Yeah.
what gives it the replayability, I think. Don't get me wrong, there are simulator games that I have very much enjoyed. You know how much I played Car Mechanic Simulator,
Mm.
which is a real, like, surprise hit for me because I don't really like cars. So, playing Car Mechanic Simulator seems like something just way off left field. Like,
Boy.
I'm just surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. And it is boring. Be under no doubt. It's not an exciting game, but I did get a very real sense of I don't know,
Accomplishment?
yeah, like when you finished like an amazing piece of artwork or something, and you step back and you look at it and you're like, "Damn,
Mm.
I did a good job,"
A
even though
puzzle
it means
or a model
nothing.
kit or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like making a really nice looking meal or something, and it's just something you can look at, appreciate for a couple of seconds, and then move on with your life.
Mm.
Despite the hours it took you to make it. uh,
Yeah. I mean I can get behind that. Yeah. I especially the when you compared it to cooking, because yeah, I could just have pre-made meals or go out to eat or order out, but I really enjoy like the satisfaction of taking the time making something like that looks and tastes amazing, even if it takes me twice as long as making something a lot more simple.
Hmm. I mean, there are oh, sorry, words. There is a cooking simulator out there. I have just woken up, alright? Forgive me. But I don't think I'd ever play a game like that, because cooking is something that I could readily do myself in real life at any
Yeah.
time.
And you have to
So-
and you don't get to eat it if it's on the computer.
Exactly, and it looks a bit fake, and the controls are always janky as hell. Like, if I'm gonna do something crazy cooking-wise, I'll look up a Life of Boris video and be like, right, I'm gonna try and recreate this. And if it tastes horrible, then it tastes horrible, but I'll know for future, and I will have progressed myself in some way. Also, when I tell this story later, it won't sound like I'm a complete nerd. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's different from other somewhat simulator-like games like Farming Simulator, right? You're not going to go out and buy a giant farm and a combine harvester and
Yeah.
go out and do that. So it gives you the chance to kind of see or experience that. Although, God, those games are not.
I mean, to be fair, I live in like a farming area, so I could probably get a job in a farmyard place.
That's true.
Possibly. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want. I don't want to deal with like rain, going to a daily job and having to put up with rain and shit. I can deal with it in a game just about, but fuck me.
Oh my God. I guess one of the other ones, see the ones that are more up my alley are games like Elite Dangerous. That's like, it's far future space trucker simulator essentially.
Elite Dangerous is based on one of the original PC games. Like one of the I can't say original many more times, but one of the first ever games was a game called Elite.
Mm.
Where you piloted this like framework of a spaceship, and I think my dad played it when he was young. So yeah, I was very much tempted by Elite Dangerous when it came out, but at the same time, I think it was around the time that No Man's Sky came out, and that was just pretty awful.
It was a shit show. I have Elite Dangerous for the PC and for the Xbox, and I have to say I do like playing it with a controller better.
Mm.
But it isn't. It's a game, but it's also like I don't know, Euro Truck Simulator or something like that. It takes up a good amount of time. It's very simple tasks, and it takes you a while to build yourself up to the point where you're actually doing anything cool. For a while, you're just hauling freight from star system to star system.
Yeah, I mean that could be quite pretty damn sure. There's a lot of moving cargo games these days. I mean, there was that Super Konami. What's the thing where
you're
like
talking about Death Stranding?
Death Standing, yeah.
No, Death Stranding.
Oh, Stranding. Okay.
It's the one where you play as the dude with an enormous backpack who walks places.
Yeah. The pizza delivery boy of the aftermath.
Post-apocalypse,
yeah.
Oh.
But speaking of spaceship games... Okay, go on.
I was just going to say, this is going to probably be the last point before we end segment 1, because we're at 32 minutes right now.
Getcha.
But go on, space games.
I was going to say, speaking of space games, you seem to be into them a little bit at the moment with Star Wars Squadron.
Yeah, I picked it up yesterday. It was a game that I wasn't sure I was going to pick up. I was going to get, because, I mean, it's a new Star Wars game, and it's published by EA, which pretty much means it's got everything against it.
Microtransactions?
No, there are none of those. That's the weird thing.
Wow.
I haven't tried the multiplayer yet. The campaign is, pretty fun, if a bit predictable.
Yeah.
But the it's got a fairly simple gameplay style. It's just dogfighting essentially. Mm-hmm. But there are enough varieties of little fighter ships, and you can customize them all. So there's enough variety to keep it interesting. And once I finish the campaign, I am going to try the multiplayer because I think it looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It also supports VR, so I may try that at some point. But yeah.
Does it? Is it like the old Star Wars Battlefront 2 space mechanics?
No.
Okay.
It's more clean and polished than that. So it's also entirely first person. Like, you're entirely inside the ship. There's no third person camera. But it feels good. It feels clean. Like, if you like that dogfighting kind of mechanic.
Non-meta because you're not in third person.
Yeah, so it's got that and that first person thing is one of the reasons I really want to try the VR version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah. That was kind of one of the reasons I don't know if you remember, but I always used to play PlayerUnknown's Battleground in first person mode because I hated that someone could stand behind a corner and tilt their camera so that they could look around the corner without actually peeking around the corner, if that makes sense.
Well, I switched back and forth. I used third person when I wasn't in a fight, but the moment I got into combat, I'd switch to first person because it was easier to shoot.
Yeah, well, but they released the mode where everyone has to be in first person was my
Yeah.
point.
I played that one a lot more, but it depended because there were only certain people that played it that really enjoyed that mode.
Yeah. And oh shit! Wait, that was our last topic, wasn't it? I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
start talking about PUBG and the changes that it made.
God, yeah, we're gonna go off on the weeds again, but we'll wrap up segment 1 there. Yep, come to the end of segment 1, which is topics. Depending on when you're listening to this, you'll either hear us again in a few seconds or a few days. But either way, thank you for listening.